Are you wondering how much it will cost to paint the exterior of your house? Well, in today's video, I'm going to go over the factors that can affect the price for painting your exterior and show you some visual examples of homes that we have painted and their price ranges to get those houses painted. My name is Joel. I'm the owner of HM Precision Painting. Just want to thank you for stopping by on our channel and taking a look at this video. If you could, please like this video, comment down below if there's anything you want to see in particular, and then subscribe. Just lets us know that we're helping you guys out. So we'll just kind of get right into the video. So the first main factor that affects pricing on the exterior is going to be the amount of prep we have to do. Now with prep work, there's three main things that we find on houses here in Kansas City. So the first one's going to be power washing, the second one's going to be caulking, and the third is going to be scraping and priming. The more we have to power wash, if your house has mold, dirt, anything really, any loose paint, if we have to do all of that, that could add to the labor hours. Same thing with caulking. If your house has a lot of caulking to get done, then that can affect the amount of labor hours that our painters have to put in to get your house prepped. And then also scraping and priming, if your house is just in really bad shape, there's lots of peeling paint around the whole entire house, we'll have to take the time to scrape off that loose paint, sand it, and then prime it. So those are three main factors that we see commonly on the exterior of houses here in Kansas City, and that will affect the price to paint your exterior. So another factor that will affect the pricing of an exterior is either slope sides, steep roof lines, tall chimneys, or any obstructions around the house, like any trees, shrubs, landscaping. Those are all things our painters have to work around, and they do add extra time because we have to take extra precautions to make sure we're doing everything safely. And with slope sides, we also have to make sure that we have ladder levels to make sure our guys aren't reaching or doing anything risky on top of those ladders. And then with landscaping, we do have to take extra time to either mask off, pull back the mulch, pull back rock. So those are things that we do have to take into account when painting the exterior. So another thing that we have to take into account when painting the exterior is going to be the amount of coats that we have to do on the house. So most paint jobs here in Kansas City, most painters, most painting companies, it's just a standard one coat, a heavy sprayed coat, and then possibly back roll depending on the type of siding that you have. If we do have to do a second coat to either get it to cover, so like with a white house like you have behind me here, we do have to do two coats to get that color to cover over the bare siding. Or if you're doing any drastic color changes, or also if your house is in really bad shape and we have to do a primer coat first, that can add about 20 to 30% on the standard price for painting a house, which is just a one coat paint job. And also, with a house, the bigger the house, the more we have to paint, and the more we have to paint, the more the cost will be. So the smaller the house, pretty obvious factor here, the less it'll cost. The bigger the house, then the more it will cost to get the house painted. So one of the most common options that we price out on the exteriors is going to be the type of paint that we have to use. So different brands have different tiers, ranging from your builder's grade all the way to the highest, most premium things that they offer. Obviously, each tier is typically on your average sized house is going to be about a $400 to $500 difference, and on larger houses could be a bigger difference. On smaller homes could be maybe a $200 to $300 difference. But typically that is something that we explain to the homeowner, talk them through the different options, different lifetimes, and what colors they're thinking, and whether it's going to be a good investment to use a higher tier paint or whether they can get by with something more in the middle. On most homes here in Kansas City, it's standard to do three colors on the house. So your first one's going to be your body color, your second one's going to be your trim color, and your third is going to be your accent color. Now the trim and accent color typically is going to be just on the front of the house, then the sides and the back of the house typically get all done in the body color. So your gutters, soffits, fascia, window trim, doors will all get painted in one color. That's going to be your body color. If you do want to carry that trim color and accent color on all the sides around the house, then it will add cost to the paint job just because it takes us more time to spray that color, come back, mask that color off, or cut in wherever the two colors meet, the trim and the body color. So it just adds more labor hours, and that is something that we can option out for you, but it's something to keep in mind that it will affect the price to do it on all four sides as opposed to just the standard, which again is just the front of the house. Wood rot replacement is typically one of the most expensive line items that we have to price out separately from the painting when it comes to getting your project done. So that is something you have to keep in mind, that if you have a lot of wood rot repairs to do, it is going to be separate from the factors that we have outlined here in this video for just painting the exterior of your house. So as you can see, there's lots of factors that can affect the price of painting your house. And that's why it's important to have a painting professional come out, take a look at your house, put together a quote based on what your house needs and what you want to get done around the house. So now we're going to cover different houses that I'm going to put up here on this video and their price ranges to get those houses painted. So I'm going to use my paper here to kind of refer to these houses, but you're going to be seeing these images here in the video. So the first house here that we will show you is going to be an example of a 1,000 square foot house. It's going to be 1 story. So the cost to paint that is anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000. So $3,500 might be with a lower tier paint, $5,000 might be with a higher tier paint. And now all these price ranges are going to be with medium prep work, so nothing really too expensive, but at the same time, nothing that is just barely any prep work. So that's an example of the first house for painting a house, again, that's about 1 story and 1,000 square feet. So the next example you're going to see here on the screen is a house that's 1.5 stories on average and about 1,000 to 2,400 square feet. So the average price to paint a house like that is going to be anywhere from $4,250 to $6,250 here in Kansas City. So the third example you're going to see here is a house that's about 2,500 square feet to 3,000 square feet. It is a 2-story house, so you can see here in these examples, one of those houses is like 1.5 on the front, 2.5 almost there in the back. The other one's just a straight 2-story all around. The average price to paint a house like that's around $5,500 to $8,500. And again, $5,500 being with the lower tier paint, $8,500 being with the higher tier paint. So the fourth example you're going to see here on the screen is going to be a house that's about 3,000 square feet to 4,500 square feet. You can see there's 3 stories around back, and you can kind of see that these are a little more complex. Bigger houses have more slope sides, like a tall chimney there on one of these examples. So the price range for painting these houses are anywhere from $6,800 up to $10,000, depending on the type of paint they want us to use. There's just quite a bit of surface area to get painted, quite a bit of windows to mask off, and that's why these houses typically bump up to that price range. The last example you're going to see here on the screen is a house that's either 4,000 square foot plus or a highly custom house. As you can see, these houses are pretty large houses, and they're not your standard 4-sided houses. So the price range for these houses were anywhere from $11,500 to $17,500. So it could vary quite a bit just because there's a lot of paint. So just changing paint tiers could typically affect these houses anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 just on the tiers. So they're quite a lot of surface area to get painted, and that's why they're usually up in these price ranges. And depending on the type of paint they want us to use, the amount of prep, then it could be even a little bit more. I hope this video helped give you an idea what it will cost to paint the exterior of your house. If you're interested in getting a quote from us, you can reach out at 816-686-5684. You could also submit a request on our site and we'll get in contact with you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.